Here are two ceiling fan controls that we're going to try here in the garage. This one is the Leviton fan speed control, and it's a 5 amps control, so it can handle quite a few fans, but I don't know what kind of control it is. Is it a 4-speed, a 3-speed? I really have no idea. So let's open this up here and see if we can find out. Variable speed would be nice, but it's usually too noisy when the fans are as low to the ground as they are in here. And so if this is variable, I doubt that it will be satisfactory, but let's see if we can. Well, first let's see if we can get the stinking thing open. That seems to be a problem. It's got some screws, some nuts in there. It says shaded pole or split capacitor motor, and this is something, I guess, in French. Let's see what it is. This might be a variable. I think it is. It feels like an infinite range, plus it's got a minimum speed adjustment there, so I doubt this will be satisfactory, but let's just give it a shot. I mean, it can't be worse than this stupid control. Oh, I hate this control. This thing is awful. The biggest problem with this is that when you go to slide it, it just, like, it takes so much inertia to get it to move that you force it so hard to start the movement, and then you go past what you wanted. It's infuriating to operate this control. This is the same brand of control that I had up in the living room, and I didn't like that one either. The speeds on this one are not very good as well. Number 1 is the fastest speed, which doesn't make sense to me, and 4, 3, and 2 are almost the same. And that might be a function of these fans more so than the control. I don't know. And no, I'm not going to turn off the power. I don't feel like it. I'm going to leave the power on. Although actually, with how little room I have to work with, I might have to shut it off. I don't have much space to work with at all. Yeah, I guess I'll just shut it off. I can unplug it pretty easily here. Alright, it's unplugged. Normally I don't care. I work on things live all the time, but there's not a lot of room to work with in here. So this control, as far as I'm concerned, you might as well just throw that out. I'll never use that again. So let's try this control. I really don't expect to be able to use this because if it hums, it's no good. But who knows, maybe it'll be quiet. So I'm not going to stuff anything in here. I'll just put it up here on the ends and we'll give it a quick test to see. I don't want to keep flexing these wires around too much. They're under a lot of tension in here. I'm not going to even bother grounding it just for the test. It's not necessary. Ground it if I decide to keep it in here. Alright, so that's... oh wow, that feels awful. I think that's just... no, it is. That's actually loose. This control's a piece of trash. I hate it. You know, am I seriously going to have to go find a vintage one? I'm getting tired of this. Alright, I'm going to plug this in here. And, let's see what we get. Turn the heater off so we can hear it. Yep, no good. Okay, so we'll just take that out, put it back in the box, and it's probably fine for something else, but I knew it wouldn't be fine for in here. Variable speed is notoriously loud like that. That's why I didn't choose it to begin with. Alright, so that leaves us with this other control, which is the quiet fan speed control. Rotary on off. With captured knob that stays in place. I have no idea what that means. Alright. Let's see how this one will work. I suspect this one will work just fine. And even if the speeds are no different than the stupid Westinghouse one, it has to be easier to use. There's no way that this is more difficult to use than that other Westinghouse control. I think what I'm ultimately going to have to do is build a custom control for these fans, a custom capacitive control, because I don't think any of these are really going to give me the speeds that I want. Oh, that's cool. We got different colors here, so we'll go ahead and use the ivory because that's what I like. What a waste of materials, though. Guess we'll keep that. Maybe we'll use it somewhere else someday. I don't know. Who knows? So this stays in place, allegedly. I mean, I would hope so. If that's now a feature on these things, that the fact that it doesn't fall off is a feature, I mean, give me a break. Good grief. So this is non-solid state. So there should be no humming or buzzing noises present at all. Let's see how it wants you to hook this up. I would imagine that the red wire goes to the fans, but let's just verify that so that we don't break the control. Okay, so the red goes to the fans. And then tell you put tape on there, I don't like to do that, because it just get all sticky and whatever, and it just does not necessary. All right. So this one we're gonna go ahead and, I mean, unless it's like broken or defective or something, this is the one I'm gonna use for now. So we'll go ahead and hook this one up properly. We'll ground it and everything. It's very difficult to reach. I really don't want to keep changing this out. I should have put a little extra wire in this box. I don't know why. Oh, you know why? I know why. Because the controls barely fit in the box. That's why there's so little wire. These wires have to be very carefully pushed all the way. Okay, inherently my grounding connection did not work at all. I wonder why that didn't work. More slack on the outside then. There is just nothing to work with in this box. This is crazy. I know why I did it this way, but it stinks. And I did it wrong. Okay, all the connection have been made. Now we gotta stuff this back in here. It's gotta go all the way to the back, otherwise it will not close. Put one in each of the corners, and we should be able to close the box. Hopefully. Yeah, that's not bad. It'll fit. It'll fit okay. fits without a lot of pressure. I don't like to have a lot of pressure in the boxes. Some people just jam it in there, but that's nah, I don't do that. Okay, let's see how this does. Go ahead and plug everything back in. And there should be no humming or buzzing sounds with this. Okay, let's see if we can get both of the fans into the frame. Well, that might have to be good enough. Start with low. Well, that's definitely slow, which is good. That's the way I wanted it to be. That's the way it was with the old control. These amazingly will run at this speed with no problem. And this is extremely slow. Alright, let's go up to what this is calling medium. This control is a million times easier to operate than the other one. The other control is just such a piece of junk. Well, I think we're going to have the same problem here. There's not a lot of difference between those two speeds. Let's try high. Yes, now the problem is we only got one speed left, which is just full on, and this speed's not super useful. They're barely moving in the air. And I can feel a slight draft, but that's about it. This isn't doing much. This really is like a practical low speed. Yeah, that's as fast as it's going to go. So it's not a very good range in speeds at all. But it's got to be something with the way the fan motors are, because all the other controls I've ever tested with 4-speed controls I've tested with these industrial models, it's always the same behavior. I really need something in between this and high, because we'll go to high now and it's ridiculous. I need something like right there. That would be a good medium. down to high, which is what the switch is calling it. It's low, medium, high, and max. And it cuts the speed in maybe a quarter of what it was. So I like this control better in the way that it operates, but the speeds are as inconsistent as the other one. So this is not, I'm still not satisfied with this. I can deal with it because it's easier to use, but it's not really an improvement in terms of the functionality of the speeds. Works better in terms of usage, but the speeds still stink. So we'll have to revisit this again at some point, and I think that revisit will be custom control.